Hello there, YouTube. Maybe, just maybe, role-playing is not for you. Now, this might come off as a little bit of gatekeepy, but try and hear me out with what I have to say in regards to this situation. I am actually going to talk about someone that I have been role-playing with, not going to drop any names, obviously, but I'm going to emphasize on why maybe role-playing is not for you, i.e. if you are almost like this person that I am talking about. Maybe you have a lot of great character concept ideas, you constantly create new characters and you are excited to play them and see how their stories play out, and that is fantastic. Maybe you are really well invested within lore when it comes to the game worlds. You would constantly try to absorb more and more lore, and that would help to expand the knowledge that you have of your character and how that character is going to be. But maybe role-playing is not for you. Because maybe you are very much like my player who just does not read the rules ever at any given time. I will provide with some examples in regards of this situation, of course. First one, this player joined us for our Pathfinder 2nd edition campaign. I was super excited to have this person along because I knew this person very well, and I have played D&D with this person in the past. I had seen some red flags, of course, while playing D&D with this person, but at the end of the day, it's a tabletop role-playing game, and we want to sit down and have fun with our friends. Now, what this person did is that they created a swashbuckler for Pathfinder 2nd edition. Basically, a swashbuckler is a sword-wielding, panache, crazed fighter, basically. You get panache and you deal extra damage, or you can do some cool things while you have panache, and do a finishing flourish and whatnot. So this person came in with this character, and it was I believe a gnome or a halfling, don't know exactly, but they were a swashbuckler. Fantastic. The adventure starts and the party finds the swashbuckler inside one of the taverns. The swashbuckler basically offers himself up to the party, saying that he can most surely be an extra sword, for them to use, like sort of like a hired mercenary kind of thing. The party agrees. He tags along. First combat scenario happens. The swashbuckler has not read up on his class at all. Even though the swashbuckler had said he had read his class, the swashbuckler had not read his class. This made it so that we had to explain while during combat exactly how his class worked. And this also ended up with us having to fix a bunch of things on his character sheet. Not very optimal, but oh well. After that first session, this player came up to me and said, I think that this character is a little bit too complex. Well, it was not the first, second, but I think it was second or third. Doesn't matter. But he said that this character is a little bit too complex. This class is a little bit too much for me to sort of like get my head wrapped around. I was like, okay, fine, fair enough. I myself think that swashbucklers are very simple, but hey, different strokes for different folks, am I right? So what they might conceive to be easy is what I would conceive to be hard, and so on. So, okay, fine, fair enough. You can create a new character, and we will just push the said character in there. Cool. This character then comes up and tells me that they want to create a sorcerer. In Pathfinder 2nd edition, sorcerers have something that is called heightened spells. Well, not heightened spells, but signature spells that they can heighten and so on. I'm not going to go into a rabble on about how that works, but I was like, okay, cool. I am uncertain with exactly how sorcerers work here, so I'm going to need you to thoroughly read your class, because I won't be able to answer this for you. And it's like, no, of course I'm going to read my class. Fantastic. Next session comes, they come up with this character, a fantastically well-written sorcerer with a lot of lore behind it, and we start playing and we enter combat, and then the character or the player chips up, hey, what's the signature spell? I was like, well, haven't you read your class? Like, yeah, I have read my class and I saw this signature spell come up. So yeah, did you read it? Did you read up on it? No, I thought you'd know. Once again, this player had not properly read up on their class. their character was basically incomplete. Now, you might also say that it is up to me as a game master to properly look up on their character sheets and make sure that everything is all right, but I don't want to do that. I expect my players to know what they're doing. I don't feel like I want to be sort of like a judge that sort of like scours for discrepancies within every character sheet and points that out. No, that's not me. I expect you to at the very least read up on your class. So we know, so you know what it is that you're going to do. Needless to say, his entire character sheet was incorrect. We had to sit down and explain to him what signature spells are, and we spent about too many minutes in the middle of combat fixing his character sheet. Not very Gucci. After that session, the player comes up to me and says, hey, I think that this class is a little bit too complex for me. I want to do something else. That is when I chipped in and I said, no. You are going to read your class and you're going to play this. I am not doing this again. This might sound very harsh, but I have something more for you. This same player was one of my players in my Starfinder campaign. We're playing Attack of the Swarm, a pre-written campaign. At the start, the player wanted to be an operative android named Sav. Cool. When this person creates his character and so on, I say, hey guys, I am very new to Starfinder. I need all of you to sort of like participate and help in, you know, reading your classes, read a little bit of lore, read about your races, read about your themes, just so we are all up to speed, because I won't be this encyclopedia of knowledge that you can lean on. Everybody says, okay. Of course, the android operative had not read up on their class. That created an issue. After some time, we switched platforms. We were using Fantasy Grounds previously, and then we hopped on over to Foundry VTT. The reason why we hopped over is because there was a bunch of corrupted files constantly popping up on Fantasy Grounds. We did not enjoy it. We were getting tired of recreating characters over and over again, so we just transferred everything over to Foundry VTT. There, the person creates a new class, which is called Solarian. And they are a new race and a new character entirely. And I say, have you read up on this? No, because this is probably one of the most complex classes I have read. I need you to read up on this. Of course, he does not read up on it. Another one. We were trying out character creation in Traveler 2nd edition by Mongoose. I said to everybody in the party, I have never played this before. Never. I have never played this. I do not know that much about it. If you have any questions, please consult the rulebook. I will not have any answers to it. I hope you understand. Everybody says, of course we understand that. You have never done this before. During character creation, this player chips up, hey, it says that I am able to have cybernetics. What does that mean? I do not know. Look in the rulebook. Okay, cool. Hey, it says that I'm going to start with a bunch of items. Where do I find what items I start with? I don't know. Look in the core rulebook. Okay, cool. Hey, it's what is a psyops? I don't know. Look in the core rulebook, etc., etc., etc. Constant reluctance to read up on rules and so on. Maybe, just maybe, role-playing was not for him. I would go as far and say, no, it wasn't. And that person is no longer playing with us in our Starfinder and our Pathfinder games. I wish I could say that we had a positive ending to our friendship, but that was not the case. But it was not role-playing related as to why our friendship broke apart. But it has given me time to reflect over how this person was as a player. And, you know, maybe you are a player that, you know, have constant ideas and you want to enjoy tabletop role-playing games. And you know what? Maybe not every game master is like me. Maybe not every game master expects you to read up on your class or have a basic understanding of the game before you actually play. Or maybe a game master do not expect you to read up on rules at all. Maybe the game master just wants to explain to you all the time. That is fine. If you find that kind of game master, then go for it. But I think it's incorrect and I think it's wrong to lean upon the game master as if it were an encyclopedia of unending knowledge, that the game master will answer all of your questions because you are a little bit too lazy to read up on rules. That is not cool. That is not the proper way to play the game. The game master already has enough to think about. All right, that was it for me, YouTube. Stay safe.